Hello, I'm Debora Schultz, and today I'll be talking about the rice diet. If you didn't watch my first video, I talked about the original rice diet for weight loss created by Dr. Kempner, which is in this book here. If you're interested, you can get that online. Adapted this diet to my own liking, and then months later, I found out this book, The Rice Diet Solution, which is funny because I haven't read this book. I never read this book before, and end up that my diet is pretty much what is in here. So when I was reading it, I said, wow, I adapted my diet to what I like, and end up being what is described in this book. What is this book talking about? So yeah, the original rice diet was modified for the last few years, and this is very transformational. This book has 3 phases, and the first one is the more aggressive one, which is not very aggressive. I think it's a lot easier to follow than the other one, because that one was just too extreme. There's a phase 1, a phase 2, and a phase 3, which I think it's awesome. Phase 1 is where you're gonna lose the majority of your weight. Phase 2 is where you're gonna still lose weight, but in a slower pace. And phase 3 is your maintenance. And that's where I'm at right now, and I think it looks great for me. So in phase 1, it does promote that first phase of the other book, but a little bit different. It does include rice with breakfast. So you're gonna have rice and fruit for breakfast, rice and fruit for lunch and dinner. So you're gonna do that for only one day, and I do not suggest doing that more than one day. It's a very low sodium diet, and it's not safe to be done at home by yourself without the supervision of a doctor. So yeah, don't do that for too many days. You can do that once a week if you want to. And then for the rest of the days, you're gonna do, like on the book, it says starch, non-fat dairy, and fruit for breakfast. I did not do that. I actually leave the dairy or any dairy alternatives for phase 2, because I wanted to use the first phase, which is just 1 week, to lose a lot of weight, and then the second phase to like more slower pace weight loss. So then for lunch, you can do starches with vegetables and fruit, and same for dinner. I actually do only starches with fruit for lunch, and then for dinner I'll do starch with vegetables. So yeah, I left the vegetables for lunch and dinner on my program that I created. I have an ebook, and you can find that on the description below. But if you want, I had also the option to change that into a fruit meal with starches for lunch. So that's that. That's phase 1. And the phase 2, that's when I do the dairy, and that's what I've been doing for a very long time. And yeah, I was able to lose maybe another 1 or 2 pounds doing that, and then I'm stable. I do not want to lose any more weight. I think I look fine. So yeah, on phase 2, if you want, you can repeat the other diet, like the fruit and rice diet that is described on the phase 1, but you don't have to. If you have a lot of weight to lose, yeah, you can do that, but no more than 1 day. And then for the rest of the week, you do for breakfast starch, dairy, and fruit. And I love that. It's great. It tastes good. It's very satiating, and yeah, I love doing that. Sometimes I'll do the dairy maybe for lunch, or I do half and half, like half portion for breakfast and half for lunch. And then lunch is starch, vegetables, and fruit. Same for dinner. And then you can have like a the meal once a week. And then the difference between that and phase 3 is that you have a more freedom to eat more meals that are high in protein. You can do that twice a week. You can add a little bit more fats. There is the base diet that you can follow, and then if you're still losing weight but you want to maintain, yeah, start adding more protein meals, or a little bit more fat, or even a little bit more fruit and starches. Just increase your calories. And in this book, for phase 1, yeah, it does restrict your calories, like the fruit and rice diet is about 800 to 900 calories, which I think it's okay if you're not doing that for a very long time. But you know, my experience, if you're coming from a diet that's really high in fat, you don't want it to go too high in calories, because you want it to your body to adapt this way of eating slowly. So you don't want to go like all in and eat as much as you want. And another thing that I like this is it doesn't promote consuming refined sugars and stuff, and I think that's great. So it doesn't promote adding salt to your diet, to your foods, and it's a very low sodium diet, so you're not going to be adding salt or anything to your diet. And what I like about this is it reset your palate. You know, after you, when you lose the weight and you feel like, okay, I'm gonna start adding a little bit of sugar to my oatmeal, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to my food, and you're gonna feel amazed how little you need to add to make your meal feel great. I think you appreciate your meal a lot more, and I found that I got more in tune with my hunger and fullness cues, eating that way, because you know, salt, sugar, or even fat, they make your food very very tasty and make you eat more than you actually need. This way of eating teaches that sometimes you eat more than you actually need, just because it tastes good. You just keep eating, and by not doing that, I think you can pay attention more to what your body really needs. It's very difficult to overeat, but when you're doing this, and I found that very helpful. So yeah, after I lost weight, I obviously start consuming more variety, but I like to keep my diet very basic. I'm not a chef. I don't like to spend time in the kitchen. I like to cook a batch of rice every morning and then eat throughout the day. The next day I'll do the same thing. Now I'm playing around with more variety, like more beans, some meat on the weekends. I do not like meat very much, but I'm playing around with more protein, plant-based proteins, like tofu, tempeh, and TVP. I like TVP a lot. In some seasonings, I use light salt, which is a blend of sodium and potassium. I like that a lot. I do not consume a lot of sodium because every time I try, first I get a horrible migraine, so I'm not doing that anymore. I tried for about a week and it was not worth it. And I found like my legs get a little heavier, maybe because of water retention, and I do not like the feeling. I like to feel light and lean, and that's why I chose this name, because that's how I like to feel. And then I like to remind myself that's what I want for myself. I want to feel that way, and that is what helped me to feel that way. I hope that was clear enough. I'm interested. This is the book that I follow. It's awesome. Great tips in there. There are also great tips on this one too, but I thought that that was a little too extreme, and I don't think it's necessary to do that. So yeah, that's the rice diet that I follow. If you have any questions, leave down below. And that's why I felt I still eat that way. I feel like it's very transformative. And maybe I think in the next video I can talk about what's the difference between this and what I did in the past, like the start solution and stuff, and why I like this better. All right, that's it for this video, and then I'll see you on the next one.